What's going on, everybody? It's Real with Jordan and Demi. We are here today with the band Cannons. What's going on, guys?
What is up?
Hey,
We got them all in different places, and we'll do clockwise from the upper right. We have Paul, and we have Ryan, and of course Michelle, and then I'm Jordan, and this is Demi. So now you know everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. The occasion for this is, of course, you guys have a new album coming out. You have the big tour, but in the near future, you're playing Bleach Fest in San Diego on August 5th and 6th. So my first question is, and I love to talk about this, is what's the best part about doing a festival and what's the worst part about doing a festival?
I feel like one of the best parts is like being able to attract some new fans that might have gone to see another artist. And yeah, and then it's also really fun being able to check out other artists together. And the worst part, I don't know, what do you guys think?
Festivals are usually pretty rushed, so it's not like we always get a sound check. We might get a line check, but usually they're pretty throw and go. And sometimes there'll be artists that we really want to see, and we might not get to because it's just so rushed.
Yeah, how often do you actually get to actually relax and see other bands? I guess it depends on when your slot is.
Yeah, for sure. We got lucky. We just played a show with the Killers, repping some of their swag, and I think that was like the first time we had a pretty early time slot, so we were able to catch the Killers and the Flaming Lips and Death Cab. But it's pretty rare. We don't usually get to.
Wow. Yeah. Demi and I were just talking about recently about how it can be difficult to play a festival when you're playing in the middle of the day too. So that can't be fun.
For sure.
Yeah. So Demi has been bumping the new single.
Yeah.
So Demi, take it.
Okay, Loving You. Yeah, let's get to that. Because first of all, the video is gorgeous. Like the song is like dreamy, like pretty much y'all's like staple sound, but on crack, right? Can you tell us? I really want to know about the making of that video. Michelle, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Pretty much the writing of that song. Where'd that song start?
I think it started from a bass riff, right, Ryan? That you were thinking.
And we're still here. We're just doing this, Michelle. So it's like this. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it started just kind of like a bass track that I had come up with like the night before we wrote it. And we didn't really have much more to go into the studio with other than the bass part. And this was one of our first co-writes that we actually did on this album.
No way.
Kind of a new process for us, but kind of also the same way that we also write a lot of music, just starting with a riff or starting with some type of melody. And the song's kind of just created in one day.
Oh wow! So why the decision to bring in a co-writer? Where did that come from?
I think because it's like our third album, so just trying new things.
I like that. Yeah, that's the other thing is that this is really the first big project you've worked on since Fire for You blew up, and now that you have a bigger fan base. I would assume a bigger budget. How has that changed your recording process?
I think it's pretty much stayed almost the same, to be honest, since day one.
we did get somebody to mix this album.
Yes.
Oh, you have a real mix this time.
Yes.
Who's like the most difficult in the mixing process? Like who's the one with like 20 edits and who's the one that's kind of more chill? Or are you guys always on the same page about mixes?
Yeah, I think kind of on the same page. I mean, all of our past albums, Paul has always mixed them, and I think having him be a member of the band, he kind of has an ear for what needs to stand out in the mix. So I always trust his judgment. I wouldn't say anyone's difficult. We might, we always agree on the final ending. If it's like something that needs to be tweaked, we all have like our input on it, but no one's being a diva about it.
Well, that's good. Let's
run it back though. Let's really run it back right now because I read somewhere that Michelle placed, or you two, the boys placed a Craigslist. Who was it?
She read on Wikipedia. She read on Wikipedia. Let's get real.
So what exactly did that say? Tell us that story.
Yeah, it was about like 11 years ago or so. I recently moved out to Los Angeles from Florida, and I didn't really know anyone out here, but I wanted to make music and be in a band specifically too. So the only place I knew to go to was Craigslist. And I made an ad in like the music section with like a photo, and I remember putting like all the artists that I like and that I had like SoundCloud links to some stuff. And then Ryan had been searching through Craigslist, that section. Then we all started like emailing back and forth and wrote a song or two before we even met up, and it sounded really good. And then we met up and just kept making music since and haven't stopped.
Yeah, the really fun thing is, or interesting thing is, I probably wouldn't have found Michelle if I didn't type in a certain band that we both had as an influence at the time. Because like on Craigslist, you can go to the community and you can type in like, for example, like The Killers, and if somebody had mentioned The Killers in that ad, their profile will pop up. And it was this band called Trust. They're like a dark synthwave band I think they're from Washington. And not too many people have heard about him, so I was just like really into him at the time. I'm like, let's see if anyone's into this band. And she popped up and coincidentally like lived right around the corner from where I used to work at the time. And like she was explaining, we wrote a bunch of tracks without even meeting up at first. So
wow,
it's pretty cool.
Trust,
yeah.
How much, when you guys first got together, how much did you sound like Cannons that we know today? Or was it maybe a slightly different sound when you first started?
I'm going to say 40%.
40%?
Yeah.
I think a little more.
I think we got sexier as time went on. I think we kind of found our sound a little bit more, and we're still always searching
on
for
the
sound.
R&B side, a little bit more on the like.
I would say Night Drive was probably our most R&B kind of record, and yeah, I think when Paul and I were writing music, I think we started. Well, I think with my mindset was always like, let's do like a Dr. Dre kind of sound, but not actually sample those sounds. Like let's play a lot lot of like where all like that G-funk inspiration came from without sampling stuff.
Mini Moog,
definitely, yeah.
For
I
sure.
like to call it gangster lead.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do those first demos sound like? Like what? Like
do they stand out?
Interesting like titles or funny stories about the first demos.
What was the first demo? Was it
Shallow Lagoon?
Yeah.
They were great because it was the first time Paul and I got to like we had the music somewhat done, and then hearing Michelle's vocals over it, I kind of like knew. I was like, oh my gosh, we have something really special here because the tone of her voice is so beautiful over the music, and it was great. It was full of like really great top line melody. I guess maybe still like electronic, driven and bass heavy, but it was really great.
Well, so now that I just want to go back just a little bit. Paul and Ryan, how long have you guys have been playing since high school? Is that how intense was your like musical partnership leading up to bringing Michelle and actually forming the band?
Maybe elementary school, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What were you playing back then? What was that like?
We were playing like rock bands and metal groups. Like I was a drummer and played mostly guitar. So like he would just knock on my garage door after school every day.
A real garage band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real garage band, exactly. Mm-hmm. And Michelle, when you were growing up, and were you one of those kids that was like singing when you were 4 years old, like Celine Dion karaoke, or was it more of like something you found later on in your teenage years?
Probably Mariah Carey karaoke.
Mariah Carey?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I was singing privately as a kid. Like I'd record over all my dad's tapes, some vocals, and my sister to sleep, and just I kept this like love of singing to myself because I wasn't sure. Well, Okay. Yeah. I guess I wasn't sure if my voice was like good or people would like it or not. I don't know. I guess I wasn't sure. But I knew I loved singing. So, and just music in general. So in college, I took a guitar class and I thought it was guitar. But they told me my next assignment was to play and sing a song. So I covered Bon Iver's Skinny Love, and my class loved it and told me it sounded like really amazing, and all these good stuff that made me feel a little more confident about my voice. Then I kind of just like watched and read everything I could on just like singing and recording, so that by the time that I did meet the guys, I could at least record my own vocal tracks and knew my voice a little bit better by then.
Did you envision yourself as like a front woman rock star band kind of thing, or what did you think about yourself when you were trying? Did you have a goal, or was it just like whatever happens?
Yeah, no, I didn't picture myself that way. I kind of just wanted to just make music because it was really fun. And then after we started uploading songs to SoundCloud and being asked to play shows, that honestly scared me at first. So I was like, oh, no, I have to get on stage.
Yeah, that whole part of it. Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't like part of my vision or anything, just to like make, because it felt so therapeutic and genuinely really fun for me to, write songs with Ryan and Paul. And then I kind of fell into the front woman position and started to enjoy it. Jumped into that new experience for me head on.
Right. Yeah.
What was your first show like as a band?
It was actually it was cool.
Yeah.
It was like a local bar out where I live, and it was packed, which is kind of weird because I live in the suburbs and I didn't know too many people even were like aware of our music. But I think a lot of those online blogs in the early days really helped get our word around. And shortly after, we started kind of just branching outside of the suburbs and played some shows in LA, and they also had a really, really good turnout. But they were interesting because I don't think Paul and I had like been just used to, plug into an amp and just rock out. But our style of music, like we had to get in-ear molds, and we weren't used to like playing with in-ears and kind of trying to figure out how we're going to do like a lot of the music that was like on the production side to bring it live. So it was a new experience, but it was a fun experience.
So you don't have any of those like playing for 6 people in the middle of nowhere stories that some bands have. So
not with this band, fortunately.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Florida too? I'm not really aware of like, if there's like a music scene out there, but did you feel like, like what were you doing over there? Were you into the beach? Like what kind of girl
jet
were you?
skiing? Like what part of Florida are you from first?
Yeah, shout out Florida. My dad.
Hunting, fishing.
or even fish that much. But I grew up in like Fort Lauderdale, so like South Florida. I did go to the beach a lot. I was used to the warm water, so when I got out here, I was shocked by how the California
chilly,
are.
How many gators have you wrestled?
Yeah.
Gators. Just a couple.
Yeah, I'm an alum of the University of Miami, so I'm very familiar with the general area. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're used to the ridiculous weather down there, then the hurricanes.
Yeah. Well, and we would do hurricane parties where you would, when you knew the hurricane was coming, you'd grab a case of beer and you'd all go to one person's house and you'd all hunker down. But the issue is that by 3 a.m., the power's out, the beer's getting warm, everyone's pissed off. And so it can quickly decline. A hurricane party can turn quickly.
We just call that Friday night around here.
Yeah. The beer gets warm and everyone gets mad. So I wanted, let's talk about the album. Do you have a release date for the upcoming album? I actually Googled it and I couldn't find it, at least on the surface.
We don't have a set release date
okay,
yet.
So I didn't mess up. Okay.
No, I didn't. No. But yeah, it's coming soon. So we're just about like wrapping it up, before we head on tour.
Yeah.
Been doing a lot of writing and yeah, I feel like it's something that I'm really proud of, and I feel like we hopped into like a lot of new areas creatively, and been really, really, really fun making it.
That's always a question, and it's the cliche music journalist question: is what can fans expect? But really, are there any surprises? Did you try like horn sections or like, a heavy metal guitar solo in the middle of nowhere? What kind of, in terms of like trying new things, what's new on this one?
I like the horn section, and the heavy metal guitar solo is pretty fun to do.
Oh, so these are real time suggestions. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely some of that. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite track, or like a track that like you were maybe like, what's an unexpected like track of yours that you guys favor, but maybe it's not like the first three? You know what I mean?
What's the 9th track of the album going to be?
The 9th track. We have a lot of favorites on there, but yeah, we can't tell you all the details yet.
We respect that. We respect that. And you guys have this headlining tour that's kicking off August 24th, I believe, if my memory serves me right.
First show is in Portland.
In Portland, yeah, and it ends in Oakland. You're going back through the West Coast. This has got to be the biggest tour you've done, right?
Yeah, as far as venues, yeah.
Yep, they keep getting.
How are you guys getting around? You gonna do a van, a bus,
busing it?
Bus it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys traveling on tour, like what are the personalities we have here? Is there like a neat freak? Is there a partier? Is there like a introvert? What kind of band are you guys on tour?
We're pretty introverted, to be honest with you. Michelle's the neat freak. Sometimes she'll wake up the bus by vacuuming, which is always great because she's cleaning up after us. I don't know. Michelle, you got anything you want to say about the boys?
Yeah, Michelle, what's it like to be the only girl on the trip?
Yeah.
Sometimes, well, let's see. Yeah, since we're on the road for like over a month, that's our home. So I like it to feel clean and as tidy as I possibly can. So I'm throwing a lot of socks back in their bunks, and for some reason, vacuuming relaxes me when I'm on the tour bus. Let's see. I feel like guys like to go out and they like to explore the area a little bit more and soak in the environment. For me, I'm like really focused on getting enough sleep all the time. Like I'm really scared to not have enough energy, so I go to bed early. I sound like a grandma. I'm like, I love vacuuming. I go to bed early.
That's in between now. If like this was the 70s, it would be the uncoolest answer in the world to say you went to bed early. You would never tell Rolling Stone in the 70s that you went to bed early.
I don't party too hard. I mean, yeah, I save everything for the show. So,
it's for the fans. It's for the fans, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking all day. I'm like trying to conserve my energy so I have like, can give it 150% on stage. And then I'm really exhausted after that. 'Cause it's like 70 minutes of, I'm dancing and, dancing, singing, and it's a physical thing.
do you guys do meet and greets and that kind of thing after shows or before shows or?
Yes. And we do before shows, and those have been really cool experience for us to be able to like meet our fans and answer their questions and have really cool discussions and stuff with them beforehand.
When it comes to putting the tour together, how do you guys put together kind of the set list? Do you guys do the same set list for the whole tour? Do you guys switch it up? Like what's the preparation in terms of getting the music together?
I think our production's definitely gotten bigger every tour. So as far as set list, it's a little tricky because this particular tour, a lot of our lighting is kind of synced up to our set list. So we don't really get the opportunity to switch it up too much, but you never know, it could. But yeah, I think prepping up for a tour is just kind of making sure that we're dialed in, that our sound sounds really good, that our set list is exciting, and that the lighting is, on point too.
Coming from like 2013, right? I mean, it's like we're in 2023. I think, as artists, seeing each other grow, but like, is really cool. But how cool is it that you guys got to watch each other, like as individuals, grow up? You know what I mean? How have you guys changed, over the years?
How big are the egos now compared to 10 years ago? I'm just kidding.
The egos. I mean, I think
our touring drummer has the biggest ego, probably. We're all pretty chill.
It's always the drummer.
Yeah, if you're listening out there, chill out, man. Chill out. No, I think it's been great. Like Michelle was explaining, this has been her first band ever. So super proud of her. And Paul and I have been friends for like 30 years. So it's really a tight family, and we all love each other, and we're all swimming to the same shore. So we all want the best out of each other. And I'm just happy to be doing this with, my really close friends.
Yeah. Well, it's good you still get along, I guess. So you do.
Yeah.
How much time do you get to how much time do you get to actually like write, record, work on music on the road, or is it just straight up just like playing? That's all you do?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Well, because Michelle's always sleeping, so it's not like
I'm not. Of course, it didn't feel like there was much time because we were doing like first like of the day. There's we'll go to radio stations, and then we'll have meet and greets, and then we'll have the show. That kind of fills up the whole day a lot of the time.
And sound check too.
Oh yeah, and then we have sound check too, and then also getting ready. Good amount of time. So
right. I feel like Michelle probably takes you a little bit longer to get ready than the guys, just a little bit.
Oh yeah, it does. Yep.
Well, and speaking of getting ready, Michelle, of course, your stage costumes, your outfits are legendary. We were talking with your publicist right before you came on the air about I know you work with a stylist, but when did it go from like, were the outfits always important, or was it something that kind of came along as the band became more successful?
The outfits were definitely always important because I always like to go to a show, and my favorite concerts that I've ever been to are kind of like elaborate with the lighting, the clothes, the stage setup. So I always wanted to be able to, have a very clear, distinct aesthetic and stuff. But so once we got the chance to start working with a stylist, then that was a lot easier for us and everything. But I think it's a fun element, and then it makes me feel like a different like character or something like that.
Yeah, and it makes our audience feel like they're actually coming to a show, and like we're getting them involved in our Cannon's world that we're trying to create. And just like a couple tours ago, we had the opportunity to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and just seeing all the amazing outfits that a lot of those musicians wore. It's like they really put in. It wasn't just like I'm wearing black t-shirt and jeans and rolling out of our bed and just going to hit the stage. They put in a lot of effort into the entire performance, and I think that's important to us as well.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing some of like Earth, Wind, and Fire outfits.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
oh yeah.
They were like paintings, like they were so elaborate. But
I like
the
ZZ
wings,
Top's.
and I always loved Sly and the Family Stone, the Sly Stone outfits with the big wings and stuff. Yeah,
Dude,
love it.
Even ZZ Top's instruments had outfits.
Yeah,
right. Well, I was watching you guys this morning. I was watching your performance. Was it Colbert you recently did? I think it was and
Kimmel.
Yeah, and the outfits. I love the cowboy hat. The cowboy hat was great. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Do people give you stuff, or do you find stuff in thrift stores, or like where do the outfits come from?
Usually our outfits are stuff we discuss like with our stylist beforehand and stuff, and then we'll do fittings and pick out what we like and put a whole look together for each show.
Okay.
I want to play a little game with you three because you guys know each other on you guys probably know each other better than a lot of other people know you guys. So let's start with Ryan. I want to know what's your favorite thing about Paul and Michelle, and then we're gonna go to Michelle, and then we'll go to Paul. So let's start with Ryan. I'm actually curious.
Yeah.
What's your
My favorite thing about Paul? His luscious lips. I love his luscious lips.
Really?
Look at those smackers. Michelle, I love that she is hands down the most compassionate, understanding person ever. She's kind of like, if there is ever any weird drama, like, I can go to Michelle, she can talk some sense into me, and I know that it's going to be okay. So I think she's nice to a fault sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah. A big heart.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, your turn.
One of my favorite things that what Paul does is I love when Paul does his tequila dance. Whenever Paul's
would you show us a little bit of your
demonstration? You got to come. I need inspiration for that.
When he busts
you need a tequila shot.
Dance moves in the studio.
Maybe tonight.
I can just tell he's like really liking whatever we're working on, and sense this pure sense of joy that makes me happy. And I think Paul's just very sweet and has always been, there for me through everything over the past like 10, 11 years, and can always talk to him about anything. And then Ryan, I think Ryan is hilarious and cracks me up every single day, without fail, which is great because my favorite thing in the world to do is laugh. But yeah, Ryan's really creative. Ryan's also been there for me through everything, and both of them are like they're the closest people to me. I talk to them every single day. They know everything about me. They don't judge me.
I'm gonna go cry.
They're so creative.
Aww.
I love them.
Oh man.
Paul's turn.
So sweet.
Try to top that, Paul.
I can't. I hate all of you. No, Ryan, we've been friends for so long, and I know he always has my back for everything. He's always been pretty much my best friend. Michelle, I would say she has the biggest heart of anyone I've ever known.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Aww.
So I got it behind it. I got it behind. Just give Demi credit. This is the first time she's ever done anything like this. This family thing going on. This is great. So yeah. I didn't expect it either. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We'll let you go, but we look forward to the album whenever that comes out. And the tour is actually happening. The dates are real. I was going to post I'll put the graphic up, but I want to be clear that this is airing a week after we're recording it, and there may be stuff sold out by the time that this gets to the audience. So of course, check which is sold out and which is not sold out. Hopefully we get to see you guys when you come through at the Greek. Because a Canon show, now you got me hyped up with all the lighting and the costumes and the whole like atmosphere. I haven't seen you guys live before, so that would be cool. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have a good one, y'all.
That was nice.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, bye. Okay, all right, and that is everybody is gone, I think. Okay, all right, that's it. Well, okay.
I was made for loving you. Check out that single.
All right, guys, go check us out on Instagram, Jordan Edwards Studio, Demi_Ramos, and go to popdust.com for latest in pop culture and music news, and to stream and watch all of our past episodes. Of course, it's available on Spotify and streaming platforms as well. Until next time, we'll see you later.